First contact deception. Captain Maya Chen floated in zero gravity above the asteroid's surface, her mining suit's headlamp illuminating something that shouldn't exist. The metallic structure embedded in Ceres' rocky terrain gleamed with an otherworldly sheen, its geometric patterns defying everything she knew about natural formations. "Control, this is Pioneer's Hope," Maya transmitted back to the mining vessel orbiting above. "We found something. Something artificial." Her crew chief, Thomas Okoye, responded immediately. "Artificial? Maya, that's impossible. We're the first ones out here." Maya traced her gloved hand along the smooth surface. The metal felt warm, even through her suit's insulation. Strange symbols pulsed with a faint blue light wherever she touched. "Tom, I'm sending you visual feed now. This isn't human-made." Silence filled the comm channel for several seconds. Then Okoye's voice returned, tinged with wonder and fear. "Dear God, Maya, get back to the ship. We need to report this to Earth immediately." 3 days later, the discovery had changed everything. Earth's deep space monitoring stations detected approaching vessels unlike anything humanity had built. They moved faster than physics should allow, their sleek forms rippling with energy fields that bent light around them. Maya stood on the bridge of Pioneer's Hope as the first alien ship established orbit around Ceres. Her crew of 12 miners had become humanity's unofficial first contact team by virtue of being in the right place at the wrong time. "They're hailing us," communications specialist Elena Vasquez announced, her voice shaking. "The signal. It's in English." The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a tall, ethereal being with silvery skin and large, dark eyes. Its voice resonated with artificial perfection. "Greetings, humans of Earth. I am Counselor Zefix of the Galactic Hegemony. We come in peace and friendship." Maya stepped forward, her military training from before her mining days taking over. "I'm Captain Maya Chen. You'll forgive our surprise, Counselor. We weren't aware of other intelligent life." Zefix's lipless mouth curved into what might have been a smile. "The universe holds many wonders, Captain Chen. We have observed your species' development with great interest. Your discovery of the ancient vault has activated long-dormant sensors. We are here to welcome Earth into the galactic community." Over the following weeks, hegemony ships arrived in increasing numbers. They shared miraculous technologies, medical devices that cured diseases thought incurable, energy systems that could power entire cities with a handful of exotic matter, and propulsion drives that made interstellar travel practical. Earth's governments scrambled to establish diplomatic protocols. The United Nations reformed into the United Earth Authority, with Maya appointed as liaison due to her role in first contact. She spent her days coordinating with hegemony representatives, but her nights were filled with unease. "Something's not right," she confided to Okoye during a private meeting aboard Pioneer's Hope. "They're too perfect, too helpful. No species evolves to be this altruistic." Okoye nodded grimly. "Elena's been monitoring their ship-to-ship communications. Most of it's encrypted beyond our understanding, but she's noticed patterns. They communicate far more than they need to for simple diplomatic missions." Maya pulled up a holographic display showing hegemony ship positions throughout the solar system. "They've established bases on every major body. They say it's to help us develop infrastructure, but look at the positioning. It's tactical. They could cut off every human colony and outpost within hours." "What about the ruins on Ceres?" Okoye asked. "They called it an ancient vault. Have they said anything more about it?" Maya shook her head. "They've requested access multiple times, but I stalled them. Said we're still cataloging the discovery. Truth is, Dr. Park's xenorchaeology team has barely scratched the surface. The technology inside is beyond anything we can understand." 3 months into humanity's relationship with the hegemony, Maya received an encrypted message from Dr. Sarah Park, the scientist leading the investigation of the Ceres ruins. The message contained only coordinates and a timestamp, but Maya understood the urgency. She found Dr. Park deep within the ancient vault, surrounded by holographic displays showing alien script and complex diagrams. The scientist's face was pale, her eyes red from lack of sleep. "Captain, I've made a breakthrough," Park whispered, glancing around nervously. "The vault isn't just a ruin. It's a library, a warning system, and a weapon all in one. The beings who built this, they called themselves the architects." Maya studied the flowing script on the displays. "What happened to them?" "The hegemony," Park said flatly. "Oh, they don't call it genocide. They call it integration. The architects saw them coming, saw what they did to other species. They built these vaults across the galaxy as warnings for younger civilizations." Maya felt a chill run down her spine. "Show me everything." Park activated a central console, and the chamber filled with light. Three-dimensional recordings played out around them, showing the rise and fall of dozens of civilizations. In each case, the pattern was the same: first contact, technological gifts, gradual dependency, then systematic harvesting of resources, both mineral and biological. "They're farmers," Park explained. "The galaxy is their field, and species like us are the crop. They let us grow, help us develop, then harvest what they need. Sometimes it's genetic material to combat their own degradation. Sometimes it's neural patterns for their AI systems. Sometimes it's just slave labor." Maya watched in horror as the recording showed world after world falling to the hegemony's false benevolence. "How long do we have?" "Based on their historical patterns, 6 months to a year before they begin integration protocols." "Maya, there's more. The architects didn't just leave warnings. They left weapons, defense systems designed specifically to counter hegemony technology. But here's the incredible part: the systems are keyed to biological patterns. They were waiting for a species with the right genetic markers to activate them." "Let me guess," Maya said. "Humans match those markers." Park nodded. "It's as if the architects knew we would come, knew we would need this. But we can't let the hegemony know what we found. They'll accelerate their timeline if they realize we have access to architect technology." That night, Maya convened a secret meeting with her most trusted crew members: Okoye, Vasquez, Park, and ship's engineer James Wright gathered in a shielded compartment of Pioneer's Hope. "We need to warn Earth," Wright said after hearing Park's report. "The governments need to know what they're dealing with." Vasquez shook her head. "The hegemony has advisors in every major capital now. Any official channel we use, they'll intercept. We need another way." Maya stood before the group, feeling the weight of humanity's future on her shoulders. "Then we become the other way. We use our mining ships, our cargo haulers, our commercial vessels. We spread the word through back channels, build a resistance network without the hegemony knowing." "And the architect technology?" Park asked. "We learn it, we master it, and when the time comes, we use it." Maya's eyes hardened with determination. "The hegemony thinks we're just another crop to be harvested. They're about to learn that humans don't go down without a fight." Okoye leaned forward. "What about their ships already in system? They outnumber us 100 to 1. "The architects were clever," Park interjected. "Their defense systems don't rely on brute force. They exploit specific weaknesses in hegemony technology. With the right timing and coordination, a handful of human ships equipped with architect weapons could cripple their entire fleet." Maya began outlining a plan that would span the coming months. Using the cover of routine mining operations, they would secretly excavate and study architect technology. Select crews would be trained in its use, creating a hidden defense force scattered throughout human space. "We need to be careful," she warned. "The hegemony has done this countless times. They know the signs of resistance. We have to appear compliant, grateful even, while we prepare." As the meeting concluded, Vasquez raised a final concern. "What if we're wrong? What if the hegemony really is benevolent?" Maya pulled up a recording from the architect archives, showing a hegemony harvesting operation on a world that looked disturbingly like Earth. Millions of beings loaded onto transport ships, their cities stripped of resources, their culture erased. "Then we'll apologize after we survive," Maya said quietly. "But I'm not willing to bet humanity's future on the goodness of beings who've destroyed dozens of civilizations." The crew dispersed to begin their secret work. Maya remained behind, staring at the star map showing hegemony positions. Somewhere among those points of light, Counselor Zephix was likely planning humanity's integration. The alien had no idea that in the ancient ruins of Ceres, humans had found both a warning and a hope. The architects might be extinct, but their legacy lived on. And through humanity, they would have their revenge on the hegemony's centuries of deception. As Maya returned to her quarters, she thought about the months ahead. Humanity faced its greatest challenge, but also its greatest opportunity. The galaxy had underestimated them, seen them as just another primitive species to be exploited. They were about to learn why that was a mistake. The architect's legacy. 6 months had passed since Maya Chen's crew discovered the true nature of the galactic hegemony. On the surface, humanity's integration into the galactic community proceeded smoothly. Hegemony medical centers opened in major cities, their energy plants powered entire continents, and their educational programs introduced humans to the wonders of galactic civilization. But in the shadows, a different story unfolded. Maya stood in the hidden chamber deep within Ceres, watching as Dr. Park's team finally activated the architect's primary interface. The ancient technology responded to human touch in ways that still amazed them, as if the long-dead civilization had specifically designed it for human hands. Neural synchronization at 98%, Park reported, monitoring the readouts as test pilot Lisa Hong interfaced with an architect fighter craft. "It's incredible. The technology literally adapts to human thought patterns." Hong's voice came through the comm system, filled with wonder. "I don't fly this thing so much as think about where I want to go, and it responds." The weapons systems, they're not just powerful, they're surgical, designed to disable hegemony technology without destroying it. Maya nodded, studying the tactical displays. Over the past months, they'd discovered a network of hidden architect bases throughout the solar system. Each contained weapons, ships, and most importantly, historical records that revealed the true scope of the hegemony's deceptions. "How many pilots do we have trained?" Maya asked Okoye, who had taken charge of the military aspects of their resistance. 47 fully qualified, another 100 in training, he reported. "We've been recruiting carefully. Mining crews, cargo haulers, asteroid survey teams, people who can disappear for training without raising suspicion." Their recruitment had been aided by an unexpected ally. Elena Vasquez had decoded fragments of hegemony communications revealing their true plans for Earth. The documents she'd intercepted showed quotas for human genetic material, neural pattern harvesting schedules, and population reduction targets that would leave only 10% of humanity alive as a slave workforce. Speaking of suspicion, Vasquez interjected, looking up from her monitoring station. "I'm picking up increased chatter between hegemony ships. They're asking questions about human deep space activities. I think they're starting to notice our movements." Maya had expected this. The hegemony wasn't stupid, just arrogant. They'd grown complacent after centuries of easy conquests. How long before they put the pieces together? 2 weeks, maybe 3, Vasquez estimated. Their integration protocol is scheduled to begin in 30 days anyway. They're just dotting the I's and crossing the T's now. 30 days. Maya felt the familiar weight of command responsibility. They'd managed to build a resistance network spanning from Earth to the outer planets, trained crews in architect technology, and uncovered the locations of key hegemony command nodes. But would it be enough? "Dr. Park," Maya called out, "what's our status on the architect's master weapon?" Park's excitement was barely contained. "We found it, Maya. The architects called it the Echo of Defiance. It's not a weapon in the traditional sense. It's a signal, a code broadcast on quantum frequencies that cascades through hegemony technology, causing system-wide failures." "The catch?" Maya knew there had to be one. It requires massive power and precise coordination. We need to activate Architect transmitters simultaneously at 12 locations across the solar system. And once we trigger it, the hegemony will know exactly what we've done. There's no going back. As if summoned by the mention of the hegemony, alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. Vasquez's face went pale as she read her displays. "Hegemony ships," she announced. "A full battle group just dropped out of hyperspace near Mars. They're not scheduled to be here." Maya's mind raced. Had they been discovered? Can they detect us here? "The Architect shielding is holding," Park confirmed. "But they're scanning everything. It's a search pattern." Okoye pulled up tactical displays. "They're positioning themselves at key points throughout the system." "Maya, this looks like preparation for the integration protocol," Maya finished. "They're moving up their timeline." The command center erupted in controlled chaos as resistance members prepared for what might be their last stand. Maya opened a secure channel to resistance cells throughout the system. "All stations, this is Phoenix Command. The hegemony has accelerated their plans. Begin Exodus protocol immediately. All combat-ready units prepare for starburst. We're going loud in 12 hours." Across human space, carefully hidden ships powered up Architect weapon systems. Mining vessels revealed military-grade shields and weapons. Cargo haulers deployed fighter squadrons from concealed bays. In asteroid bases and moon facilities, human crews ran final checks on technology they'd only begun to understand. Counselor Zefix's face appeared on every communication screen in the solar system, his silver features arranged in what passed for benevolent concern. "Citizens of Earth," his artificially perfect voice intoned, "we have detected concerning anomalies in your deep space activities. For your own safety, the Galactic Hegemony is implementing protective protocols. Please remain calm and cooperate with our peacekeeping forces." Maya watched the transmission with grim satisfaction. The mask was finally dropping. "Ma'am," Lieutenant Wong reported from the sensor station, "Hegemony ships are moving to blockade Earth's orbital space. They're also positioning themselves near every major colony." "Let them," Maya ordered. "They're walking right into our trap. Signal all units. Execute starburst on my mark." The next few hours unfolded like a deadly chess match. Hegemony forces moved with practiced precision, clearly following a playbook they'd used on countless other species. But humanity had something those species hadn't possessed: the Architect's knowledge and weapons specifically designed to counter hegemony tactics. "Maya," Dr. Park called out urgently, "I'm detecting massive power buildups in hegemony command ships. The signature matches their harvesting technology. They're preparing to begin extraction protocols." This was it, the moment that would decide humanity's fate. "All units, starburst is go." "Repeat, starburst is go," Maya commanded. Across the solar system, hidden weapons platforms activated. Ships thought to be simple merchants or miners revealed their true nature. The first shots of humanity's war for survival lanced out across space. The hegemony's response was swift but confused. Their ship systems, designed to easily overwhelm primitive species, faltered against Architect weaponry. Shield frequencies that had protected them for millennia suddenly became vulnerabilities. Weapons that could crack moons apart fizzled harmlessly against defenses they couldn't comprehend. In her fighter, Lisa Hong led a squadron against a hegemony dreadnought 3 kilometers long. The massive ship's weapons could have vaporized her small craft, but the Architect systems predicted and countered every attack. "Phoenix leader to all wings," Hong broadcast. "Target their command nodes." The Architects knew their weak points. Human pilots, guided by Architect technology and their own determination, struck with surgical precision. Hegemony ships found themselves crippled, their crews stunned by the ferocity of human resistance. But the hegemony hadn't dominated the galaxy through military might alone. Counselor Zefix appeared on communication channels, his composure cracking. "Humans, you don't understand what you're doing. Without our guidance, You'll destroy yourselves. The architect technology is beyond your comprehension. Maya opened a channel to respond. You're right about one thing, Counselor. We don't fully understand the architect technology. But we understand enough. We understand they built it to stop you. We understand they died trying to warn others about your true nature. The architects were fools. Zephyx snarled, his perfect facade finally shattering. They could have joined us, evolved beyond their limitations. Instead, they chose extinction. They chose freedom, Maya countered. And so do we. Dr. Park, initiate the Echo of Defiance. Across 12 locations in the solar system, ancient architect transmitters came to life. The quantum signal they broadcast was unlike anything human science could explain, but its effects were immediate and devastating. Every hegemony ship, every piece of their technology, began to fail simultaneously. Their perfect coordination collapsed into chaos as systems shut down in cascading failures. The predators who had harvested civilizations for millennia found themselves helpless. Counselor Zephyx, Maya transmitted to the hegemony command ship, now drifting powerless. On behalf of humanity and all the species you've destroyed, I'm placing you under arrest for crimes against sentience. The aftermath was swift. Resistance forces boarded disabled hegemony vessels, capturing crews who seemed genuinely bewildered by their defeat. The true scope of their empire's crimes became clear as human teams accessed their databases. Thousands of species had fallen to their integration protocols. Entire civilizations reduced to genetic samples and slave populations. The architects had been only one of many who tried to resist, but they'd been the only ones to leave behind the tools for others to succeed. Dr. Park made perhaps the most significant discovery in the hegemony's archives. Maya, you need to see this. The architects didn't just build weapons. They built a seed protocol. Instructions for rebuilding what the hegemony destroyed. The implications were staggering. Hidden across the galaxy were more architect vaults, each containing the genetic and cultural records of extinct civilizations. Humanity hadn't just won its freedom. It had inherited a responsibility to restore what had been lost. Standing in the ruins that had started it all, Maya addressed the united human forces and their growing alliance of freed species. We faced extinction and chose to fight. We discovered the truth and chose to act. Now we have a choice that will define our future. The architects left us more than weapons. They left us a legacy, a chance to undo centuries of destruction. She paused, looking at the mixed human and alien faces of those who had fought beside them. Former hegemony subjects who had turned against their oppressors when offered a chance at freedom. We are no longer just humanity reaching for the stars. We are the inheritors of the architect's dream, the guardians of the galaxy's future, and unlike the hegemony, we'll build that future together, as equals. The architect technology activated one final protocol. Across human space, ancient beacons came to life, broadcasting a message to the galaxy. The hegemony has fallen. The age of domination is over. Those who seek freedom, come to Sol. The children of Earth stand ready. In the years that followed, humanity would face the enormous task of helping to rebuild a galaxy scared by the hegemony's exploitation. They would discover other architect vaults, rescue enslaved populations, and slowly restore hope to systems that had known only oppression. But they would not do it alone. The architects, in their final act of defiance, had chosen their successors well. Humanity proved that sometimes the youngest species could teach the oldest lessons, that freedom was worth any price, that unity was stronger than domination, and that even in the darkest hour, hope could prevail. As Maya stood on the bridge of humanity's first true starship, built with a fusion of human ingenuity and architect wisdom, she thought of all they'd overcome. The hegemony had seen them as primitives, as resources to be harvested. Instead, humanity had become the galaxy's unlikely saviors, proving that it wasn't the age of a civilization that mattered, but the strength of its spirit. The stars beckoned, full of challenges and possibilities, and humanity, tempered by trial and armed with the architect's legacy, was ready to answer their call.